Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Tim Maxwell and welcome to the first ever Restless Noise live stream. Pretty new to this shit. Just stole some LED lights from Coles to make myself legit. You can't even see it. Need some shit in the background. Just looks bad at the moment. But, got to start somewhere. Alright, so today I'm going to be going through a mix of a cover that I did by a band called Turnstile. And we've got Michael Hardy on drums here, Luke Henry on bass, and I did the vocals and the electric guitar and stuff. So basically I wanted to show you my mixing workflow, and a lot of it is to do with this thing here, the Softube Console 1. And why I like this so much is because it forces you to use your ears, not your eyes, which, I struggled a lot with when I started off mixing. So basically I'm going to show you where I was at. Let's just take off all these console 1 plugs and let's have a listen. So, it doesn't sound that bad, but it's a little boxy and there's not enough energy and stuff. And now I'm just going to put what I've done on the console 1 across all the tracks and listen to the difference. So you can see it makes a bit of a difference. Alright, so for this purpose, I'm going to take all those console 1 plugs off. Before that, I will show you what I'm using for my mix bus and my drum bus and all that stuff. You'll start to just see a pretty similar pattern. So on the mix bus, I've just got a API 2500. This is from the UAD Spark series. Amazing plugins. Like, if you don't own a piece of UAD hardware, then you should really get these plugins. It's just on a subscription service. This is not sponsored by UAD. Maybe one day. So yeah, that's just on 2-to-1. I pretty much just keep the attack and release in the midpoint and a bit of parallel there. So after that, got the pull tech. It's pretty much always on this setting, just boosting 10k and a bit of 30. So standard clip if it's necessary, just saturating a little more, and the UAD Studer. So that's the only thing that's going on my mix bus there. I'm not taking any frequencies out because that's just a big no-no. Drum bus here, Studer, pull tech, doing the same sort of thing, and an API. So yeah, it's pretty similar. Other than that, everything else is pretty much console 1. So for certain sends, I already have them set up in a template. So for my drum rooms, I'm rocking this Lexicon digital reverb, and it's just on the shortest setting. I used to always just have long ass verbs and not understand why everything was just muddy and hard to hear. So ever since I started using way shorter reverbs in my drums, it made a huge difference. So we got 2 reverbs being sent to the rooms there. We got some vocal reverb, which is just Lexicon again, some delays. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So as you can see, most of the stuff is just console 1. And the best thing about this is it's a channel strip. So we start off here, we've got input gain, a low and high cut. We've got a transient shaper, so we can add punch to the drums, we can gate it. We've got EQ here, and compressor and drive. And then I've got my set of faders here, so if I was going across different pages, it literally just changes. They've just got these automated faders, which is awesome. So yeah, it's all basically emulating an SSL 4000 console, and I'm obsessed with everybody that uses those. So, you know, it's a workflow that suits me best. And I mean, if you wanted to get into this type of thing, then I'd recommend just using maybe an SSL channel strip or something like that. Just something that forces you not to look at something and just try to take frequencies out. So yeah, first things first, let's just get rid of all of these Console 1 plugins. Goodbye. Oh shit, it's gonna sound crap now. Let's hear that. Oh me again! So you can see that the master bus isn't doing too much. It's just like glowing it a little more, you know? Like even like oh me again! Yeah, not a hell of a lot. So the first thing that I like to do is always start with the drums. So, you know, you're never going to hear anything in solo, but because I've been doing this for so long, I like to just listen to the tracks and be like, all right, cool, that's a little boxy, we're going to change that, and then I'll start balancing everything in. So we're going to start off by putting Console 1 across all of our tracks. And let's solo up this overhead and let's have a listen. Now, to me, it doesn't sound bad necessarily. Just needs a little more brightness. So let's crank some 8K. Take out a little lows just to make room for the kick. Maybe a little less. Add a bit of punch, so it gives it a little more energy. Sustain. And straight up from just those two things. We had this before. There you go. Let's move on to the kick. So I can immediately hear that needs some high-end click. I mean, I'm going for a bit more of a modern sound here, so we need to push some high-end out of that. And if I solo that up and show you quickly, it's very puffy, like not necessarily badly recorded or anything. We just need heaps more high-end. So boost some 8K. Boost some 3K. And then I'm just going to take out a little bit of mids there. Cool. Bit of a high cut. Going to use the drive character here to boost even more high end. And now I'm going to come over to this shape section, and this is going to change the game. So you've got a hard gate there, which can basically get it to being like really clicky. So check this out. So we'll add some punch first, and let's hard gate it. Cool. All right, let's move on to the kick out. That sounds pretty good as is. Might just take out a little of that. Boost some low end. Alright, let's move on. This is a kick sample. Go. Don't really need to do much to that. Snare. Alright, let's just slow that up for a second. So just a little dull, a little boxy, so I'm just going to find frequency here. There it is, just want to get rid of a bit of that. Let's take some low end out, boost some high end, a little bit of punch, bit of drive. So we had it from this to that. Let's put that back in with the rest of our drums. Cool, sounds good to me. Alright, let's go to snare bottom. Take some low end out. Drive it a little. Give it some bit of 8K, bit of 3K. Bit of punch. Alright, cool. Now we're going to add in the snare sample. Let's check that out. So you can hear that's a pretty like short decay on that snare. But what I've got here is a UAD plate bus to this. So I can literally just click send one and boost this. And I've got a plate. Cool, let's move on to the room. I'll come back to the toms, find a place where they are. Alright, I'm just going to take a bit of... I'm just going to compress it a little. Go 4:1 ratio. So yeah, I'm carving out a little bit of mid-range there. It's just to make room for everything and make it a little less boxy. And I'm probably going to take out a lot of the highs of the room mic, which I usually do, and then just crush it. So before. And yeah, I mean, the drums are at a pretty good starting point. So let's find some toms now. Let's go to this part here. Alrighty. Alright, let's just solo up these. So just a little boxy again, you know? Just that mark. Already sounds better. And now we're gonna just boost some low end. Compress it a little. We'll get the floor tom in. Sounds pretty good. Maybe just a little bit of mid-range out of there. Alright. Let's hear all these drums together. Alright. Let's bring it back. Yeah, so you can see I'm just trying to get like that boxiness out of the rooms just to make it sound a little more modern. So now I'm just going to go ahead, and I feel like the snare's just a little thin, so I'm just going to boost a bit of 200, the fundamental frequency, give it some weight. Just compress it a little. Fast release, just on a 2 ratio, just gives it a bit more punch. Alright, let's add in the digi hi-hat. So yeah, I mean, like, what was that? That was like 5 minutes or something of playing with the drums. Didn't take long, and that's the best thing about this console one. It just makes you, you know, think on the spot and stuff. So I'll show you the drums beforehand. And this is after the fact. I'll show you what the drum bus is doing. This is off. And on. So just giving it a little bit of energy. And you know, there'd be so many times where I'd just be like, alright, cool, like I gotta spend hours soloing the snare and making this sound good. And now I just know, alright, cool, that sounds good, let's move on. So let's listen to this bass guitar. Just make sure that there's no EQ on it. Alright, cool, let's bring it in. Oh, sorry, let me mute this shit for a second. Alright, so just gonna cut some of the lows to make room for the kick. I can just tell it's got a little bit too much low mid-range. Let me just go find that. Sounds pretty good to me. Alright, let's just boost some around like 1.6. I'm just going to compress it a little. Alright, let's bring in some guitars. I'm just gonna, I'll just solo out one for a sec. Just taking out some lows to make room. Same deal there, like I don't want to cut too much low mids out of the mix or anything, but I can just hear it's taking up too much of it, so let's just clean it up a bit. Alright, let's get the other one going. Same deal. Alright, cool. They sound a lot better now. I'll just low cut that second guitar actually. Alright, from there I'm just going to start adding a bit of upper mids to the kits. So you see, I didn't really have to do much. Let's listen to these basses and bass and guitar without the console. Doesn't sound that bad, but it sounds a lot cleaner when you clean up some of those low mids. Cool. Happy with that for now. Alright, let's move on to the vocals. Alright, So first things first, I'm just gonna slow this up just to listen to what we got. Take off all the
Blackout in the middle of your life.
take off these
Just
delays.
like a blackout in the middle of the night. You know it won't be long until the end.
See that in the mix?
Blackout in the middle of your life. Just like a blackout.
So I'm just gonna take out some lows.
Blackout in the middle of your life.
Bit of low mids.
Blackout in the middle of your life. Just like a blackout in the middle of the night. You know it won't be long until the end.
Cool, we got that. Let's try boost some upper mids.
Blackout in the middle of your life. Just like a blackout in the middle of the night.
Cool, now I'm just gonna go and compress this.
Blackout in the middle of your life. Just like a blackout in the middle of the night.
Straight up. This vocal sounds good to me. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is I've got some vocal reverbs bust to this, so I'm just gonna bring them in.
Blackout in the middle of your life. Just like a blackout in the middle of the night. You know it won't be long until the end.
And then I've got this delay on Send 3.
Blackout in the middle of your life. Just like a blackout in the middle of the night. You know it won't be long until the end. Let the spotlight shine on me. And if it makes you feel alive.
We gotta bring in the. Alright, where are we? Here, this. Put this guitar in the center.
Well, then I'm happy I provide.
Let's take some lows out.
And when you see me on the floor, it's just a part of my show. Live.
Alright, just so you can hear it again, I'll just take off all the plugs, which is just console at this point.
Live. Well, then,
And in.
well, then I'm happy I provide. And when you see me on the floor, it's just a part of my show. Live.
So yeah, straight up, all that shit did not take me that long. It was just a point of like using my ears and going through it and just thinking on the spot. And you know, you can do the same. I'm gonna upload these stems for you on in the YouTube description. So usually there'd be like, you know, all that like there's like these weird toms and cowbells and stuff that I tried to recreate the production of Blackout, but to be fair, it sounds like fucking shit. So I've just given you 19 tracks, which is just all the drums, bass guitar, 3 guitars, and I mean, there's these vocals at the start here, but they're pretty much the same as that. I just wanted to give you a little insight to how I would start this mix anyway, but yeah, so I'm happy to do a part 2 on this, but I just wanted to show you, you know, how my way of thinking is and how simple it can be. And yeah,